Welcome aboard. It is I, your boy Tarai Jack, coming straight live from M5 Property Addict. And on this channel, we talk about anything and everything around property, and particularly earning passive income through property. If you've never been here, welcome aboard. Why do we talk about this? We come out to you Monday to Friday. And we talk about real estate and tips and tricks, and we educate ourselves, including myself, educating myself whilst I'm talking to you about property. And this is what we do every day on a Monday to Friday. Friday, you get to ask all the questions, and we talk about the real estate, we talk about the passive income, and we talk about everything around property. We talk about tax, we talk about law, we talk about what can you do better to improve yourself. My name is Tarai Jack. Welcome aboard. All right. We are here now. So good morning. It is that day that we've been waiting for. Yes, Heritage Day. It is upon us. And the question I want to ask ourselves is that, is it really that heritage for us to be on the Heritage Day? And we speak about legacy on a Thursday. So Thursday has always been a legacy day. So I am actually happy that we're talking about legacy on a Heritage Day. I didn't jinx it. It just so happened. Hey, if this is your first time and you've never been here at all, ever been here before, my name is Taurai Jack, and I do property all the time. And if I'm not doing property, I am the author of this book here called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. I wrote this book with you in mind. This is a book for the guy who's starting off. This is for the guy who has one or two properties getting stuck, maybe in terms of scaling. And this is for the book that is for the guy who's kind of like, is property for me? I do not mince any words in here. I tell you what it is in this book, and anyone can actually take this book and replicate it. For some of you, you're not even in debt on a 1 million. So if you're to buy this book and you apply some of the things that are in here, you are going to excel. You are going to excel in your journey. Where can you get the book? On our website, and you can get the book there. And yeah, it gets delivered to you to your doorstep, right? So Thursday legacy, let's talk about it. Can I also make it an open mic today? Yeah, I'm going to make it an open mic whilst we are talking about legacy. So in the comments there, ask me anything. Ask me anything. Anything property related, ask me anything. I got a bit of time today because obviously it's a holiday. And I've cleared off my schedule. I'm going to be spending some time with my kids and with my mom, together with a beautiful wife that I've got. And yeah, so that's today. That's the agenda for today. But I'm just going to talk about random things about legacy, guys. And you all know that I am all about this legacy. And for some of you, you don't know me. You know, this is your first time coming on board here. I do property every day, but I didn't start from there. I started off being employed. And, you know, I started off like being a squire like everyone else. I rose up the ladder. From rising up the ladder, most of my job was actually in Africa, outside South Africa. I'll travel into Africa. So like doing 2 to 3 weeks in Africa somewhere, you are in a 5-star hotel, you're being treated nicely, you get picked up at the airport, dropped off at the hotel, and you get guys coming to pick you up to go to work and things like that. It was the life. Yeah, it was the life. But I realized that all of this was a job. It was a job. I was not creating a legacy for myself. If I was to die today, at that time, my kids were not going to inherit the job that I had. All that they were going to have is some pension payout and things like that. And so it dies, right? And I challenged myself to say, what can I do? I want to create something different. So I went into business. And in my book, I write about how I went into business. And I didn't start off with property. I started off selling diapers, right? Nappies. There is good money in nappies, guys. The kids are pooing every day. And women are giving birth every day. Look at it statistically. So the poo business, it's a good business. My only challenge was that I didn't like the way it's run. I just didn't like the way it was run. It's a applications-intensive business, so I didn't just enjoy it. But I left that and I went into car rentals. I left that, I went into chickens. Then eventually I went into property. Why did I stick with property? Pretty simple. I stick with property because property gives you something that a lot of businesses don't give you. The first one is that it gives you what is called appreciation. By you just buying the property, you might as well just, doing nothing, and you keep that property for about a year, 2 years, it would have appreciated in value. So that business that I had, the car rental one, it didn't do that, because the day that I bought that car and I was walking out of the dealership, my car lost the value. So some of you who are in the Uber businesses and Taxifys and Bolt and what, you know what I'm talking about, right? So the value of your asset appreciates, which is great. By the way, this is an open mic day because it's a public holiday. So you can ask me any questions. So in the comments there, ask me the question and I will answer. You gotta have a business, right? Then the second thing, appreciation. That's why I bought that. That's why I started buying the properties. That's appreciation. Money working for you whilst you're doing nothing. Money working for you whilst you're doing nothing. That concept for a lot of us could be foreign because we are so used to exchanging our time for money, not knowing that money can work for us. Money can work for us. Okay, good. That's number one. Number two, I also realized that I can work at a minimum. I can work at a minimum. What do I mean by that? I was exchanging, for me, it wasn't 8 hours in a day. For me, like a block of 2 to 3 weeks, because I was literally uprooted from my family and into a different country, and I would be working from there. So that means that I was not seeing my family. I got a beautiful wife and 2 awesome kids, and that didn't sit well with me. At the beginning, it was exciting. You're going away, coming back, and then at some point it hit me like, what can I do here? Like, I need to spend more time with my family, because what if I die at 40? What if I die, 35? So which means that this is the time that I've got. So we all know, right? The death does not knock on your door and like, hey, are you ready? Let's go. No, death knocks anytime, right? And I decided, well, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to spend more time with the people that I love, and I want to be able to nurture and give them the direction that I want. You can't do that if you're absent, right? The job becomes absent, right? It makes you to be absent, the job. It's a reality, right? And it's not true that, for me, it's not true that you need to be spending time with your loved ones. It's quality time. I think it's quantity and quality time, right? If you have to spend more time with your loved ones, it's quantity and quality at the same time. So how can you present quality when you don't have money? You can't. You can produce quality. Everyone who is poor in the different places that we do know, wherever you want to mention, people spend time in quantity, but they don't spend the time of quality. What is quality? We can decide to go on a holiday. We can decide to go out, experience some Asian cuisine, right? See how the kids react when they see the stuff that they don't see every day. That's quality. Take the kids to an aquarium, right? And by the way, it was my first time going to the aquarium when I took my kids as well. So I was also mesmerized because I'd never seen so many colorful fish, so many different types of fish and things like that. I'd never seen them before. Yeah, going to the jungle, encountering a lion, encountering an elephant, that's quality. It's a different lifestyle. My next one is possibly going to what do you call that? To a area where it's just sand. What do you call that area? Yeah, that area, like a Namibian desert. Right. Like just going to the desert where it's nothing there. Right? I've never done it. I want to do it with my kids. I want to see how they react when they get there. The next one is to go to where it's just snow. Right? So quality moments. Yeah, it's taking you out of what you know every day, and you go and explore different things. But you can't do it if you've got no money. And that is the other reason why I started doing property, because I realized that with minimum work, I can have the quantity of time that I can pour back into to the loved ones that I've got. And the money that it gives me, I can start doing the quality things that I want to do. Does it make sense? I can start now affording for my kids to go and do karate, judo, special classes of chess and all of those things. And we can be there to cheer them up. Say, yeah, go son. Oh. For some of you, you're around about in your 50s, in your 60s, and you've never gone to see your child who's probably now in university. You've never gone to see them playing a match. Who is their cheerleaders whilst they're in that match? It just does something different to them when you are there, right? It's like knowing that I got someone behind my back. You know what I mean? That's what it means. I got someone behind my back cheering me up, and I'm going to slay this. That's what it's all about. By the way, it's open mic today. Drop in your comments, right? And I'm going to jump onto those comments a little bit later. Right. Now, it is Heritage Day. That's why I'm talking about all of these things, because what is heritage? It is the things that we do that we can pass down, the things that we decide to do that becomes a habit, right? It's about what we decide to do. It's ideas that we can come up with and we can implement them, and that becomes who we are. And we can pass that on, but we can't pass on what we don't have, right? So if we don't pray, I can't pass on the praying religious thing to my kids. I can't. If you got no money, you can't pass on money to your kids because you don't have money. And if you've got no rhythm of work ethics, one of my boys, he's from Mozambique. Well, his father's from Mozambique, and they've stayed here in South Africa for a long time. And he keeps on telling me, he's a young guy now working for one of the big banks, and he's rose up the ladder. And I used to question, like, dude, you woke up like 4 in the morning. And he says, yeah, look, dude, I grew up poor. You know, my dad, we used to wake up very early. So I actually struggle to wake up like 6, 7 o'clock. I can't. The heritage that has been instilled in him is to work hard, wake up early. Wake up early, work hard. So he works hard, but now he doesn't work hard physically. His dad used to work hard physically because he didn't have qualifications. He was a foreigner. He came from a different country. In those days, it was difficult. But for him, he was educated here. He's got a couple of degrees. He's smart. He's a young executive. But the heritage in him, what was inherited in him, which is working hard, waking up early, he does that easy. For some of us, we can't even wake up at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is like, yo, it's still yesterday. Yeah. So I'm just trying to provoke your mind here around heritage in terms of, yes, we've got the heritage that we've got, but how can we change the course from today going forward? How can we change the course today going forward? The other question that I want to ask of you is, when have you intentionally, so we have Heritage Day year in, year out, right? This is like a 365. Next year, again, this time around, we're going to be here, right? And we're going to be talking about heritage again. And we are going to be starting poking at other people. Hey, those people, they braai. Hey, no, they celebrate it that way. Ha, ha, ha. All of those things. We're going to do that. But the question that I want to ask of you is, when was the last time that you actually stopped and you was like, I want my family, especially for the guys who are married, kids, and you are young, let's just say under 40 or even under 50. When was the day that you stopped and you were like, I want to leave a different heritage for my kids, but I want that to be of a design, and you started changing your habits to what you want it to be. So for instance, for me, nobody in my family has ever written a book. It's true. It's like super true. Nobody in my family has ever written a book. I am the first one in my family to write a book. No one. My grandmother had 11 kids. Out of those 11 kids, it averaged, all of my uncles and aunts, they had like maybe about 4 or 5 kids. And yeah, so we are of a big family. In my wife's family, nobody has ever written a book. I have changed the course of the heritage. There is now an author in the family. That's number one. Many people are going to be impacted on this book for as long as it is on the shelf. They are going to be changed. So that's my heritage, number one. My heritage, number two, is boom, that business day. Nobody in my family have ever owned multiple properties where they are making that business available to other people to create homes for other people. Nobody. Together in my wife's family, nobody. My wife and I, we are the first ones. Did we have money? No, we didn't. By the way, it is open mic, so you can ask me anything there. I'm going to jump into it now in 2 seconds, 2 minutes. In a minute and a half, I'm going to jump onto the comments there. Nobody has. We are the first ones, right? But we're doing it intentionally. We're doing it intentionally because we understand the heritage that we want to leave. So for the longest time ever to come in the generations to come, my book and books, I'm going to write some more, are going to be available to inspire, to educate, to uplift, to change the narratives of our communities. Okay? Number two, for as long as I live, I am going to be on here talking about what I'm talking about here. Right? And again, it is to inspire, to educate, and to provoke, at least because I can talk about it now, to provoke the mind. The generation of our time that we can do things differently. We can create assets that pay us, and those assets, we live off that income. Not to exchange time for money. Hey, I'm not saying that I don't work. I do work. I work in that business. But that business is giving me assets. That's what it's doing. And out of those assets, I earn an income. Yeah, my name is Taurai Jack. It's been great hanging out with you. Let me jump on to the questions. I got a bra here called Curtis. Curtis, how's it going? I think, Curtis, you are out somewhere in the coastal lands. Great to have you around. You're not like a foreign name to me. I've seen the name before. Mr. Williams. Okay, good. Let us start. The question that's coming through from Curtis. The first one is, remember it's open mic, so you can ask me any question. And by the way, there is no question that's dumb. It is only dumb to those people that think it is dumb. To you, it could be life-changing. So ask me the question, I will answer it. All right. For the next couple of minutes, I'm here. I'm here to give you what I know. If I don't know it, it's okay, but I'll come back to you. All right. Okay, Curtis says, What are the first important steps one can implement towards a first successful deal? Very simple, brother. Number one, you need to be educated. Okay? You can't invest in things that you don't know. So first thing first, if you've never done any education, Curtis, I want you to get educated, right? That's why we've got the M5 Property Varsity. Jump in there, do the course that is called Fundamentals for Property, right? Fundamentals. Do that course. Understand how to run numbers. It's not about emotions. Whoo, this house looks pretty. Nah. It's not about, oh, this house is close to the beach. No, it's not about that. It's about numbers. Is it making financial sense? It's an investment, right? So number one, it is education. When you get educated, you know how to run numbers. Your eyes starts getting trained to see what you traditionally don't see. I'll give you an example. When I was employed, I used to drive by a particular house and I used to mourn about it, that it looked ugly. And then when I went into training, I went to give them an offer because now my eyes were different. My mind was tuned differently. Like where you see houses like that, there is an opportunity. But what is the opportunity? To solve someone else's problem, maybe, and also to maybe negotiate hard and get a good offer. So that's the first thing. Get educated. Number two, be active. Look for opportunities. Look for opportunities. Opportunities don't come whilst you're chilling at home. So go out there, look for opportunities. How do you look for opportunities? You start by understanding a particular area, preferably where you stay, and you start seeing what's happening in the neighborhood. Okay, where are the opportunities? Once you start getting into the mood of working, then maybe you can go outside, because sometimes opportunities are not in your immediate area. By the way, I am answering questions. This is open mic, and I'm doing this because it is a holiday, and I'm trying to empower you and I as well. By the way, when I'm answering these questions, I also get educated. That's the beauty of it. I'll enjoy this. The third thing that you can also do is that have a team that you work with around you, right? I've got a team. I don't work alone. And what do I mean by a team? Have people. So for instance, when you're going to see these properties, if they are run down and things like that, you need to have a builder or a contractor that can identify the problems for you, because your eye will not be able to see that, right? To see the big problems. You might also need an inspector on your team. You need a lawyer to, just make sure that, you're jumping into the right contracts and things like that. So there's quite a number of things that you need to do. But education is the key thing here, bruh. Education is the key thing. Right, I'm going to pack it here. But I also want to stress to you, Curtis, my first deal, I went out to view 62 properties that I went to view. 62 properties I went to view, and all of them I put in offers, and all of them, they were declined, and I did numbers on all of them. Deal number 63 was the one that was a good one, and it was accepted. And it was such a celebration. I think on my YouTube channel, I speak about that deal, what I learned from my first deal. I think that's the heading there. And literally, you can, jump on and listen to it a little bit later. You got some time on your hands today. Quite a lot of things that I learned from that deal. But the bottom line is that I didn't give up at deal number 10, at deal number 20, at deal number 40, 55. I didn't give up at number 60. Had I given up at number 60, I was 3 deals away. All right, cool. Curtis asked the other question as well. Another question. This one says, do you also use trust to protect your wealth? For sure, we do. We do, for sure. Right, so we've got a trust. There's a trust, and all of the properties that we own, they're in the company. And because, it's a business for me, it's a business. So I want to leverage off what comes with business, a company and things like that. So in the company, you can, there's lots and lots of tax benefits in a company. And over and above that, there's quite a lot of things that you can do in a company. You can expense before you put in your claims to SARS and things like that. So I do it in a company. I do all my property ventures in a company, but all my shares are owned in a trust. All my shares are owned in a trust. Okay, awesome stuff. So again, you need to get to a specialist there that does text structurings and that does structures and things like that. And again, as and when you meet different people, they are going to give you different advice. But you always need to look at this from your perspective. What is it that you are trying to achieve? It's about you. It's not about what the next person tells you. Right. Someone else from Facebook says, "Hello, Taurai." I like it when they say that to me. Yeah. Hello, Taurai. How much money to invest in your M5 property addicts? A minimum of 100,000. A minimum of 100,000. So you can invest at a minimum of 100,000. You can literally come in, jump on with us, and there is a component of ownership. You can co-own with us. We do the work with my team, and you get to have what is called passive income. Passive income is you're working, you're plugging in some money somewhere, and that thing is working for you, and you're reaping the benefits out of it. Okay. And there are several links that you can click. You can actually click on this video here. It will give you the link where you can actually jump in with us. Kenneth says he's in Somerset. I know you were somewhere in the coastal. I've seen your name somewhere before. So high five to you, brother. And thanks again for asking all those questions. I'm hoping that it has been of value to you. And Rudy says, good morning, TJ. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. How's it going? Right. So for some of you who are wanting to invest with us, you can do that. I am creating a different heritage for me and my family and those that are wanting to invest with us. And that is all about going out there and creating a culture where we are buying properties, creating a culture where we're buying assets, so that for the rest of our lives, we can get passive income from those assets. And that's what we're trying to do. Awesome. We've been doing this for the last 5 years, grinding. So this is not new to us. That ends my open mic today. But if you do have any other questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to dedicate a couple of more minutes a little bit later sometime in the day, taking a break from the kids, and I will jump in on to answering those questions as we go along. But if you are wanting to just think about what we spoke about today, which is how do you change the course of where you are? So you are where you are right now. That's okay, but you can change it, right? It took me a couple of days to think and write this book. It's been taking me a couple of, I'm still learning, by the way. It's been taking me I'm still learning whilst I'm getting into it to start the business that I've got now alongside with my partners, and to start understanding it, to start yielding some profit. And you can stop and you can decide, I want to be doing this. And that is the heritage that you can safely pass on, because it's intentional to the kids that are coming through in the future, to your generation that are coming through. People that might never meet you, but they will remember you that grandfather, what? If it wasn't for him, this business, this income, this what won't be there. People that started off, that has changed the course of histories. They were not super people. They were not super people at all. They are like human beings, and like me and you. They've got hair, they've got blood, they got pain, they got air, they poo, they fat, we all the same. But how can we be different? Anyhow, in the decisions that we make. All right. It's been awesome hanging out with you on Open My Guys. I am trusting that you're going to have an awesome time. Celebrate Heritage Day the way you want, because I think it's about you and your heritage and what you are trying to do for the legacy that you're trying to create for generations that are going to come for you. My name is Tara Jack. It's been great hanging out with you. God bless and goodbye.